Hi and welcome to Ordinary Extraordinary. I am your host, Karen O'Sullivan, and today I'm honoured to have with me a very special guest, the incredible Michael Mulcahy of Mindbodied. So today we're going to talk about the importance of something absolutely crucial, really. What Michael likes to refer to, I believe, as the sleep switch. So sleep is absolutely important for all of us, as we're all aware. And I suppose how when sleep, isn't working, how can it impact us on a day-to-day basis in our daily lives, from energy, from focus to our moods to relationships as well. So, Michael, thanks for joining me today. You're very welcome.
Thank
And
you. Thank you for having me on.
thanks a million. And I suppose really to kick off really, for anybody who mightn't know or be familiar with yourself or your work, can you tell the group that are listening basically a little bit about yourself and what led you, I suppose, really into the area of sleep and well-being as well, and of course about mind body as well.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, so I run the Mindbodied Sleep Clinic. I have a clinic here in Glenmore in Cork, and I run an online program as well. Um, what got me into the work that I do is what went on in my own life. Like I suffer from quite severe anxiety for 30 years, and it was quite impacting for me in my life. And it
Mm.
was only later in life when I got more control of my anxiety, I realized how much it was affecting my sleep. Um, so like it was from about the age of 12, anxiety kind of gradually took over, got its claws into me.
Mm.
And as the years went on, then it got worse and worse, got to the point where I'd stopped socializing because whenever, particularly late in my teens,
Mm.
when I had to stop socializing, I spend more time in the bathroom trying to calm myself down and drying the sweat off my face than I would in the bar.
Yeah.
So I'd stopped going out. And that affected pretty much everything in my life. Like, later in life then affected me in work, affected relationships.
Mhm.
Um, and then in 2007, I had enough and I quit my job, went to India,
Okay.
desperate to find a solution. And it was in India then that really took me on the path of well-being and health and well-being. Like I used to work in the IT field before,
Yeah.
and so it was my journey to India then that really set me on that path for really figuring out what's going on. Like I said, I was desperate. I quit my job. I didn't find the solution my first time there. I was in India for about 9 months first time, traveling around different ashrams and different meditation programs and like that. And while I was there, I came across one particular program called Mystic Rose. And it's like yeah, so it's like a kind of a self-development core 3 week meditation. So like for the first week, you spend 3 hours a day for 7 days laughing. So you're there in the room, 60, 70 people, every kind of age group, forcing yourself to laugh.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
the purpose of the laughing stage is like removing the first layer of blocking those emotions.
Yeah. Mm.
And like then throughout those days, then you've meditations around that. Then the second week, you spend 3 hours a day for 7 days crying.
Okay, it's a lot.
So yeah, and it's draining. And like really out of that 7 days, I think I only spent about 2 days actually crying.
Mhm.
And one of the days like was the most heartbreaking experience I ever had.
Yeah.
However, after that day, when I came out, I was just chatting with somebody and I just realized for that 20 minutes conversation, I looked them in the eye.
Yeah.
Whereas before I couldn't do that.
Hmm.
So over the years, I went back to India again. A few years later, I did that Mystic Rose course again, and I had another shift. And when I was there, I got good friends with a guy, a German guy. And a few years later, then I went back to India again, South India, where he was living.
Amazing. Yeah.
Um, and he had just got a neurofeedback system.
Okay.
And over those years as well, then I qualified as a kinesiologist as well. Um, so I was kind of doing work in the evenings while still having my main job. So that's where I discovered neurofeedback when I went to visit him in Goa in India.
Mm.
And that's when really I started to see change in my anxiety. And over the years, then, so like when I was there with him, I did a neurofeedback session every day for 11 days. And that's when I came back into the normal life again, your 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
That I saw the changes. And they were subtle changes, but powerful for me. And that led on to other stuff, on and on and on. And as I said, when I got a grip of anxiety, I realized how poor my sleep was and how much that overall thing helped my sleep as well. And that put me on the path then to helping other people with sleep as well.
That is absolutely an incredible journey, and I'm just, so grateful to listen to it. And thank you for sharing it as well, and just for being so real and honest with the journey as well, which a lot of people can relate to, I suppose, as opposed to seeing the good moments, also the journey that would, bring you there as well to the destination. And when you were saying there,
Yep.
Michael, about the laughter and the focusing or to forcing yourself to laugh as well. I've experienced recently a thing called laughter yoga. I don't know if you've ever
Okay.
but again, now maybe not to that intensity, but that general uncomfortableness initially about, laughing and then sort of gradually trying to work through it or even through movement and things like that as well through dancing.
Yep.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing all of that. That is absolutely amazing. And I suppose for many people listening now as well, who can definitely, I'd say a lot of people can resonate with your journey as well. But I suppose a lot of people, especially in today, like today's world, we're so rushed and, that sort of perceived 24/7 analogy. A lot of people are exhausted and to level of maybe going to level of burnout, racing minds, struggles, you name it. But from your experience, I suppose, really, and it's vast, which is phenomenal. Um, what would you recommend? If people are obviously trying to switch off with sleeping and all that, but if the general, I suppose, hacks and all that, if you will, aren't working for them, what would your recommendations be initially for them? How would they start?
Um, I suppose the basics for people is about getting their body clock working correctly. And that's all about controlling light.
Yeah.
So we need a specific type of light in the morning to tell our brain to wake up, and then we need to be blocking a specific type of light in the evenings. And if you go back to like when we were all in school, we learned about photosynthesis, how light helps plants to grow,
Yeah.
and people were no different. We need light to help our bodies to grow, to thrive, and to charge our bodies and to regulate what's called our body clock or circadian rhythm.
Amazing. Yeah.
So, in the perfect world, people need to get in daylight within, say, a half an hour of waking up. So, and what happens is that when the light hits our eyes, it's in the signal to the brain. And that's telling the brain then it's daytime. And then that signals the body to release different hormones in the body.
Okay.
So, and it's particularly the strand of blue light in the morning that tells our brain it's daytime. So people need to get in that ideally within half an hour of getting up, but in today's like that's not always possible. So
Yeah.
at least before 8:30, 9 a.m. in the morning,
Okay.
getting daylight.
Yeah. It's a great
Um,
tip.
the amount of the amount of daylight then, if it's a clear day, about 5, 6 minutes or so of daylight. So just looking in direction of the sun, not looking at the sun in that direction, so the light's hitting your eyes directly. If it's a cloudy, rainy day, then about 15, 20 minutes of light they'll need. And the other thing then in the evening is blocking that light, and
Absolutely.
that's where blue light blocking glasses come in. And I've been wearing them for years now, and I swear by them.
Same
And
as
then
myself, actually. Yeah, they're fantastic.
yeah, and I came across her on a podcast recently that when people are looking at an iPad on social media for an hour before bed, that impacts their brain for up to a week after.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
like jet lag on, yeah, it's like jet lag on the brain,
that's
you
mind.
know? So
Yeah.
yeah, when I blown away when I heard that as well. So when people wear blue light blocking glasses, it helps to negate that impact,
Oh,
and that'll help to balance their sleep.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that they're kind of the most important things people can be doing.
Okay, so basically getting enough light, I suppose, at the beginning of the day, I suppose, is what we're saying there, isn't it? And just, I suppose, connecting with nature and everything
Yeah.
around us, I suppose, in that sense. And then winding down at the correct time at night. Whereas, as you say, we're exposed to a lot of devices, a lot of, I suppose, unnatural light, if you will. Blue blocking glasses, definitely
Mm.
fantastic. I feel they're a groundbreaker for myself as well. But to not wear them, have screen time for just an hour, and for it to impact a week, if you're on longer for periods of time, that's huge. It's everything's out of whack, as you say. But yeah, no, definitely you know, you've mentioned a lot like in things yourself about the sleep switch, which is great, which I absolutely love to, to your terminology on that as well. But I suppose in a way for I suppose people listening in and watching and all that, could you put that in simple terms for them as well? I suppose why things stop working for people in general as well, outside of maybe the fact that they're not getting daylight or maybe not blocking out light. Is there anything else maybe as a general as well?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we need to sleep, our brain needs to come into the lower brain frequencies. So we can go to sleep easier and go into that deeper sleep. However, if something's going on in our life that our brain's getting stuck in higher, more active brain frequencies, so like if people getting caught in the fight and flight response,
Absolutely.
um, our brain's not able to move into those lower frequencies smoother. So that's like the constant busy mind, overthinking things, and people just can't switch their mind off at nighttime.
Hmm.
So like, that's when you're doing your shopping at nighttime, you're looking at the ceiling at 2 o'clock in the morning and everything's going through your head and you just can't switch it off.
Yeah.
Um, and like many people experience that. So when your brain's not functioning well, it could be in some event happening in your life. Like for me, with the anxiety, that overstimulated my brain, and I was constantly caught in that fight and flight. So it could have been anything, whatever was that event in your life. And like for some people, they can come out of it easy, but other people, it's more difficult, you know. And the longer it goes on, then the more the brain gets caught, and it's more difficult. And like there's research shows that people with insomnia, um, through the day and night, they have a lot higher brain activity, and that's why it's difficult for them to go to sleep.
Okay, because the brain is still literally working overdrive effectively, and then I suppose it leads to more exhaustion long term, and I suppose getting the balance when things are out of whack, I suppose initially makes it a bit, I suppose, challenging. And that's the thing,
Yeah,
isn't it? I mean, with today's, I suppose, lifestyle in a sense, as opposed to, looking at things and looking at nutrition, be it from food, be it from other things, and we're saying, it's more of a, are we taking particular medications? Are we pushing through when we should be resting? And that perception of being busy instead of, I suppose, slowing down to just breathe and connect instead of having that fast paced. I mean, we're not built for fast paced, really, I suppose, in general as a whole, isn't it? But people are
yeah,
between sleep apps, between supplements, between all of these things, I suppose. But as you say, just really, I suppose, going back with nature, really, isn't it? From getting the balance right. Ideally, I suppose, slowing down, is it as well? Or do you have any other tools or tips in general that you find maybe could benefit people as a whole as well who are going, really, where do I start now? I might start with the light and all the rest of it, but is there anything else I can do for myself throughout the day? It might differ from person to person, but as well, is there anything else you think?
yeah. Like as I say, like it varies from people to people how things respond to different things for people. Like there's daylight in the mornings, getting daylight in the morning, blocking daylight in the evening,
Mhm.
um, taking time in the evening to wind down. And I suppose the important thing about that is for people as well is take into consideration their environment. Like our body hasn't changed in millions of years, but our environment has. And we have to take more conscious effort to protect our body from our environment. So like the blue light blocking glasses. But it's also what we are watching before bed, what we're listening to before bed.
Hmm.
Because people watching on Netflix and stuff like that, and they tend to be more violent stuff, all that kind of box sets and everything like that. They're not happy go lucky kind of
Yeah.
stuff. People listening to the news, it's all violence and threat and fear. And that's what people are going to bed with,
It's
you
going
know.
there, as you say,
Many
then.
years ago, people didn't have all, yeah. And if people remember that our brain does not distinguish what's our thoughts and what's reality. If people are continually surrounding themselves with that fear experience in the news, watching violent movies, listen to uh, or reading violent books, the brain's absorbing that as if it was reality. So it's come back to, like, for me, anxiety, because I kept repeating that over and over in my mind, fearing it would happen. I hardwired my brain for anxiety.
Hmm.
So people have to be conscious of what they're taking in, because then that's what the brain kind of works on at nighttime as well. It's having gone to bed with a happy thought, because that's what the brain works on. Um, it's other things like not eating heavy meals before bed for at least 3 hours,
Okay, yeah.
because again, that puts more work on the digestive system, and that keeps the digestive system more active during the nighttime. And that then will affect how the body heals and repairs and recovers in nighttime.
Okay, yeah.
Um, like we all know, should be cutting down on social media, all that kind of stuff before bed. Um, Turning off all devices that emit Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So nearly everybody has smart watches, smart TVs in their bedroom, and
Absolutely.
they can be impacting our body, so as well. And for some people, it impacts them more than others. And it's also that healing repair cycle. These frequencies can impact how our cells heal and repair at nighttime as well. So it's cutting out all that kind of stuff to improve sleep as well.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Um, and like, yeah, like there's a few more, but so I'm sure we're cut for time as well. Like,
No, we're doing well. Tell you, I could chat to you for today, or I could listen to you for today and absorb some of that information, because it's honestly groundbreaking stuff as well. You can, like, no, honestly, it's just genuinely, I'm just going, I'm learning so much. You're just mind blown, even with that 1 hour concept as well. Even with the phones now and things like that,
yeah.
would you recommend a level of, well, I suppose ideally not having it in the room, I suppose would be the best thing, I suppose, ultimately. But like even having it on airplane mode, we'd say now, once the Bluetooth and all that's off and the Wi-Fi, would that be the best option, would you say then as well? Or,
Yeah, yeah, because like I see, for a lot of people, they use their phone for an alarm. So, at least put it on to airplane mode at nighttime.
absolutely.
Um, like a like some of the watches, you can't put
That's,
on to airplane mode at nighttime. You know,
people sleep with
and
them
even
as well.
taking consideration,
People
yeah,
sleep
yeah,
with them, not recommended, we'd say. Ideally not wearing a watch at night.
yeah, yeah. So at least if you can turn off the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi in your watch, so you can track your sleep,
No,
that'll
absolutely.
improve your sleep.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense actually, because when you think about it, we're so, I suppose, the amount of technology that's there, that I suppose there's instant notifications and stuff. If we don't have things switched off, it's like our brain is still constantly switching on, as you say, throughout. Whereas just not having, for instance, emails coming in and things like that when we're winding down. And I suppose, would you recommend sort of ideally, I know now people could have different lifestyles, different schedules and all that, but I suppose really having sort of a wind down time, even with the blue blocking glasses, but maybe some sort of a ritual slow down maybe as well, or would you recommend anything?
Yeah, so I guess, but you go back to being conscious of what you're listening to,
Yeah,
conscious of what you're reading before bed. Yeah, people read books, but again, are they thriller or
there,
stimulating books?
yeah,
Because that'll wind up the brain as well. So, if people are into meditation before bed, reading a calm, relaxing book, or watching some comedy for a while before bed, but given that
yeah,
gap of time before they wind down. Um, I suppose again it's down to what people can consistently do. If people can't manage to get a half an hour, just start every night with 5 minutes.
absolutely, yeah. And when you said even about comedy there, that's just something I tend to go to as well, because as you say, mainstream news, I mean, are we listening to some good news? Maybe at times, but generally speaking, yeah, you know what I mean. Generally speaking,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah,
1% of good news for how much else, but yeah,
yeah,
we're bringing the good news in. As you say, listen to an uplifting podcast, listen to something that can motivate. Comedy for me, definitely
yeah,
100%. Just it's bringing in some good energy as well, like that, and just winding down in a nice way like that, maybe as well. The bed of nails sometimes randomly, the shiatsu, Pat, different practices for myself.
yeah, yeah,
But no, that is excellent. I mean, honestly, just listening away, and I suppose the usual things like avoiding caffeine late at night, reducing it throughout the day, I suppose, the general
yeah,
stuff, isn't it? bit of grounding, getting out in nature, as you were saying, with the natural light at the beginning of the day. And they're the things where I suppose we're built to move more, really, isn't it? Whereas a lot of people, maybe with the 9 to 5s, sitting at desks or whatever the case is, commuting longer distances to get from A to B as well. I suppose movement does help, doesn't it, as well? Like, ideally, if when people can, I suppose, but you know, also,
Yeah, yeah. And I just say like we're made to move. We're not designed to sit. And that's the lifestyle for most people now. You know, they get up in the morning, they have their breakfast, they get in the car, they'll go to the gym or go to work.
yeah.
They probably get 2, 3 minutes of daylight between the car, and they're lucky if they get that. They're in the office then until 5. They get in the car, get home, it's dark,
Yeah.
and they get little to no light at all.
Mm,
And if you go back to what light does, light charges our body. So, like in the cells in our body, we've got something called structured water,
okay.
and that helps to hold charge in our body and hold information. And structured water is charged in our body by daylight. So, the more daylight we get in through the eyes, the more structured water we have in our body, the more charge we'll have in our body, the more energy we'll have in our body, and the more healthier cell environment we'll have.
That's really,
So
yeah,
again, people are missing that because of the lifestyle.
absolutely.
You can drink Like you can drink structured water to help with that, but like
Yeah.
there's so many positive benefits for daylight. Um,
And even at that, when we get
yeah,
clouds and all the rest of a cloud cover, we're still getting some benefit from being outside when it is daylight, I presume, as well. We're still getting, I suppose, the good rays and the good energy, even if it is, above the clouds, we'd say. But I presume we're,
yeah, like it's still coming through the clouds. It's not as beneficial as a clear day. Like just going back to one thing you said there about listening to some motivational mindset stuff before bed,
Hmm.
and that's something that I focus on a lot because um the thoughts you go into bed at night time is what your brain's working on. And then that can influence how you feel the next day.
Okay, that's true.
And when you're consistently listening to that kind of motivational mindset, positive mindset talk before going to bed, over time, that'll influence your thoughts.
It's really good. So you're kind of changing the patterns as well, or the beliefs, if you say that maybe necessarily aren't correct, but installing, I suppose, new positive things that can help, I suppose, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
really good
yeah,
advice. Yeah.
and like one of the most important things we can do for ourselves, and one of the most difficult things to do with ourselves, is controlling our mind,
Hmm.
keeping that positive look on things, because we are the gatekeepers of our subconscious mind.
I love that saying, Michael. That sounds really good. We're the keepers of the subconscious mind. That is brilliant.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of conscious effort to do that. And people can climb Mount Everest, but they have great difficulty just managing being that gatekeeper.
Absolutely.
So, when people are going to bed at nighttime, just be that gatekeeper and leave in the good positive thoughts, because then over time that'll have a knock-on effect on how they think and feel during the day as well.
That's really good. That's sound advice there. I tell you, I'm just listening away and I'm blown away in a good way. I'm just going, this is incredible, honestly. And even at that now, from your own side, with your own work, we'd say on the likes of the neurofeedback system, that probably should be its own, I suppose, episode in its own way. But as a general for people, again, just maybe to explain what neurofeedback is, I've been blessed to do 1 or 2 sessions myself with one of your amazing, obviously your partner at the time as well in work, very good friend of mine. So. Yeah, I've definitely been blessed with it. If you'd like to
Yeah,
explain to people maybe about that maybe as well and the benefits from I suppose from my
yeah,
itself as well, yeah.
yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, we can hardwire our brain for different experiences. And that can become our day-to-day life experience then, like, and that can affect how our brain functions. So, like for me, I was triggered into the fight and flight response
Hmm.
because of anxiety, or people can be triggered into fight and flight, or the sleep switch is not working in their brain. And people kind of, the more they're experiencing that, the more they're hardwiring their brain for that experience. So, what neurofeedback is like meditation on speed. It's like
Good way to describe it.
rewiring your brain. So it's a technology basically that's helping to rewire your brain to function better for you. And it's helping to break up these hardwired patterns in your brain that's keeping you stuck or keeping you in that low cycle of mindset stuff that's affecting how your sleep works. Because, as mentioned earlier, if your sleep switch is not working, that
Mm.
means your brain's constantly on that go.
Yeah.
And so once you correct how the brain is functioning, your sleep switch starts to work and you get go to sleep easier.
Okay.
And neurofeedback is a technology that enables you to improve how your brain functions. And then that positively affects everything in your life because your brain controls your sleep and it controls everything going on in your life. So
Amazing.
once your brain's functioning better, everything in your life will function better.
Absolutely. And what I can do as well, I can add it in.
Yeah.
So for yourself, I mean, it is mindbodied.com, isn't it? Am I right in saying the correct website? I hope I am. I can
Yep.
get into the information as well on
Yeah.
health and all that. And if anybody wants to get in contact with Michael himself, of course, we'll share all the information. It's very relaxing as an experience, the nice music when it's rewiring. I found it really relaxing. And to be honest, I think I did get really good sleep as well. So there we go. But
Good, 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 good.
incredible stuff. And am I right in saying, Michael, it's available throughout the world as well? As in, there's a few areas if people wish to, who are listening and maybe outside of Ireland now as well, that there is places that.
Yeah, people can just research neurofeedback. There's different devices.
Amazing.
So like yeah, it's in Ireland it's not so popular, but like in France and Germany and stuff like that, in America, Canada, it's a lot more popular.
Amazing, yeah.
Um, Ireland's a bit slower to take it up.
Once we take things up, we take time, we get there. So,
Yeah,
no pun
yeah, yeah,
intended. I'm on about slowing down outside of that. Well, but no,
yeah.
say no more. And you're based in Glanmire, mainly in Cork, Michael, isn't it? But again, obviously, if they wish to contact you, I'd say.
Yeah, so I work with people in clinic here in Glenmore, and then I run an online sleep coaching program as well. So people are able to come to clinic then, or not living in Ireland, I can work with people online as well.
That is incredible. So if anyone's listening going, oh, I wish I could do that in Ireland, they can. They don't have to be in
Yeah,
Ireland. Loving it. And
yeah.
I suppose, as I say, I could chat away to you about everything. It's just incredible. But I suppose really, if I suppose with the listeners, is there anything in particular now for anybody who's listening in today or viewing today or whatever the case is there anything you'd hope that they'd really take from this? Any message that you'd like to impart to summarize, I suppose, for them to take?
Yeah, like it's having that belief you can change. Like a lot of people are in difficult situations. And as I say earlier, like we're the gatekeeper for our thoughts and our mind. However, in anything we want to do is the consistency of just taking small steps and having the belief, creating that belief within ourselves that we can do it, and that we can heal from it, and that there is possibilities to heal. So
Yeah.
like it's not just our external body we need to heal, it's also our mindset as well. So it's working with the whole body. People can heal. It's just finding the right solutions for them and finding the right things to help them. And that takes time. Like it took me nearly 30 years to find it for me, you know.
This is
So it's
why.
finding what, yeah, so it's just finding what connects with people. And mindset is the most important thing. Having that mindset that you can change and being consistent, whatever it is you do, just being consistent, like getting daylight in the morning, just be consistent with that for 5 minutes. Winding down before bed, just be consistent every night for 5 minutes, and then you can just grow it over time. And that's what will get people to places faster.
Okay, and just having that belief, and for people who are going, no, I don't have the belief in myself or whatever, they're working on it, for them to just start small, I guess, as well, isn't it? Just a tiny step in the right direction, I suppose.
Yeah, and like if you think of it, like we created a belief we can't do something.
Hmm.
Like we're naturally defaulted to the negative. We have the power to create the negative. We also have the power to create the positive.
So true.
It's much tougher and more challenging, and that's where much more conscious control of our thoughts is needed, and that's one of the harder things. So like if people can create a belief they can't have something, you can also create the belief you can.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I
You
love it.
know, even using the word possible, yeah, there is possibly you could have the negative, but there's also the possibility you can have the positive.
It's so true, isn't it? It's like even the word where somebody might put it in notation of, oh, that's impossible. If you break impossible into, two words, I suppose it's what does it make itself up to? I'm possible. So I suppose that, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds a bit, as you say, like it's how we view it, I suppose, isn't it? And
Yeah, just reframing the
yes,
way we think. Like years ago, like I lived outside Ireland for many years, and when I came back, one of the things I forced myself not to do when people ask you, "Yeah, sure, I'm grand, I'm not so bad."
typical, typical thing
Like
in
it's
Ireland if anyone else doesn't know. I'm grand. Could be grand for everything.
yeah, I'm not so bad. Like, and that's what our bodies he listen to that. Where I consciously made the effort to say, "I'm good, I'm good, I'm great,"
Yeah.
and it's just again repeating that.
Absolutely, and repeating it into motion, we're changing it. Because again, even if we're joking, oh sure, I can't do this or I can or whatever, our bodies don't know that we're, necessarily joking about it or fobbing it off in that context as well. So it's believing it, isn't it? And instead of,
Yeah, yeah,
instead of okay, we might be able to do something right now, but I'm working on that or I'm learning how to do that, or I suppose, isn't it, as you say, changing the mindset. Yeah, it's mind blowing.
yeah,
So I suppose summarizing there, isn't it, about getting the daylight, winding down at night time, ideally the blue blocking glasses, some positive stuff, setting up the routines that suit us, maybe the neurofeedback as well. Do check it out. It's amazing. Outside of that, then yeah, just I suppose rewarding or rewiring our own mindset and some positive things and beliefs, as you say, and believing in ourselves.
yeah, and setting a consistent schedule as well because that's going to speed up balancing your clock, better your body clock as well. Like so, that kind of
Excellent.
stuff as well.
Honestly, I think I should have a few episodes with you because this is just such a great checking over that 1 hour impact, the impact of things. So we can switch it to the positive. Like instead of being on the screen for an hour, it has a week impact. That's an hour even. Wow. But
Yeah,
like so just to have that and maybe taking a break from sometimes from the screens and socials as best we can. Ironically, we're on it now, but
yeah, yeah.
again, it is light time, like it's Friday, we're fine. No, I could be listening to you all day with it, but outside of that, like just honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for like coming on today as one of the guests and for
Thank you.
yeah, just sharing all of your insight as well, all your knowledge, your time and everything as well. I suppose just outside of that, a massive thank you to everybody who's listening in or viewing as well today. And just a reminder as well, until next time, reminder to everyone that you are all extraordinary in your own unique way as well. And as I say, thank you so much again, Michael. Thanks.
Thank you.